best. All right. Look at the turnout we have here today. What a round of applause for that. That's fantastic. When I say QueensLink, you say now. QueensLink. Now. QueensLink. Now. QueensLink. Now. QueensLink. Now. When I say rails, you say trails. Rails. Trails. Rails. Trails. Rails. Trails. 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 I just said trails as well. Hello everyone, my name is Matthew Paolucci. I was the Queens College Strap Hangers plan leader this past semester at Queens College. I'm joined by so many fantastic advocates, representatives of public office, concerned community members, and also students, because the focus is on students, and that's what this report explicitly states. And we're here today for one reason. We're here today because right behind us, you go down a few miles down that way, there is a patch of land right now. It's called the abandoned Rockaway Beach branch, and it is in need of not just a park, it is in need of a park and a subway. It is in need of better connections for the people of Train, for the people of Queens to get where they need to go. And that's why we are here today. And what this report states, when you're going to read through it, each one of the students in this report that shared their personal stories, this project would impact them. It would make transit in Queens better. There were so many times I talked to students at Queens where to go 4 or 5 miles, if they were coming from South Queens, it would take them upwards of an hour with 2 bus transfers, which is unacceptable in the world's borough. It's unacceptable. And this project presents an absolute opportunity to absolutely revolutionize transportation in Queens and revolutionize how people get from point A to point B in the greatest city in the world. I want to say a bit more real quickly about the future. What does the future look like? Right? We lay out 5 recommendations in this report for what the future looks like for the QueensLink. We believe, like the work that QueensLink has been doing, more community outreach is needed, putting boots on the ground, letting people know that this is a project that could happen, it could transform their lives. We believe, as a North Star, that this project could and should be included in the MTA's 2030-2034 capital needs. Should absolutely be included. Because right now that land, it's only sitting there. I mean, it needs investment. People of Queens need investment, and it ties in to the future of the borough. Think about this for a moment. Think about the future of the borough. Think of all the development that is going on in this borough and will go on over the coming years. We have a massive JFK expansion going on. New terminals, new roadway system, all the bells and whistles of a modern airport. But yet, there's no upgrades to the mass transit system that would support this expanded JFK. Right down that way, a couple miles down that way, we're expanding the Van Wyck Expressway to a 4th lane. In 20 years, if we don't build this project, we might be talking about expanding it to a 5th lane, which would be insane, right? Hundreds of new housing units being built along this corridor within a mile radius. We have 2 proposed casinos, one at the northern end of the Van Wyck, one at the southern end of the Van Wyck, and all the traffic and all the economic activity that's going to bring. We need mass transit that is not just going to meet the present needs, but is going to meet the future needs. That's what this project is about. That's what's put in here. And I know all you are here. I know all of you are listening. All of you are ground engaged. But now we need the people with the power to make change. We need them to listen. And when we say in unison, what do we want and when do we want it? We want QueensLink and we want it now. Fantastic. I'm going to present our first speaker. Our first speaker. I have a crumpled up in my pocket. Our first speaker is Kashif Hussain. He's the Deputy Public Advocate for Infrastructure and Environmental Justice from the Public Advocate's Office. Public Advocate is a very strong supporter of better transportation in the world's borough, and Deputy Public Advocate is going to say a bit more about that now.
I said what we need now, you said QueensLink. What we need now?
QueensLink.
What we need now?
QueensLink.
Louder. The Queens Boulevard can hear you. What we need now?
QueensLink.
What we need now?
QueensLink.
Awesome. My name is Kashif Hussain. I'm the Deputy Public Advocate for Infrastructure and Environmental Justice at the Office of Public Advocate Shivani Williams. Coming from the grassroots organizing background, the public advocate in our office organizes closely with the community just like this and other advocates to identify issues and uplift the voices of New Yorkers to the city and state level. We are proud to say that the Office of Public Advocate has been supporting the QueensLink from day one because it just makes sense. Too often you have a choice between one option and the other and you can't make everyone happy, but the beautiful piece of this plan is you don't have to choose one or the other. Having direly needed transportation and a park for the community is possible. For too many years, South and Central Queens have been screaming for more transportation. This area has the largest transit desert and some of the slowest travel times in the nation because of how limited their options for public transit are. It is time for Queens residents and students to get the infrastructure they deserve in order to thrive. Investments in new transit options have always shown to be investments that reap high returns. They lead to a boom in economic growth, social benefits, equity, and opportunity to uplift communities and develop surrounding neighborhoods, including better education. This north-south subway will increase job opportunities for Queens residents and students, as they will be able to travel easier to jobs, schools, friends, and families that are far too difficult to get at present. And as we've seen time and time again, new transit infrastructure unlocks new opportunities for businesses around the city. More stops makes business in the surrounding area much more convenient and accessible. As our office wrote in the report in May, titled New York City Congestion Relief Zone on the Fast Track to Success, I'm quoting this, Queens residents and students who have a choice between driving and mass transit, choosing driving for convenience and overall shorter commute times, this project would make a significant impact on everyday lives of the people of Queens and surrounding boroughs and pave the way for better public transit, which could relive many of the need and a desire to drive. The MTA and elected officials have long been aware of the inequities in certain neighborhoods, especially in Queens, caused by a lack of public transportation. This is our opportunity to act on these concerns. We have the land, we have the pre-existing infrastructure made for this, and there is a rare option to join both plans into one, a park and a train line. If we build only a park, it will be more difficult to build a train line in future. Mark my word on this one. I've done many of these projects before. Losing this opportunity will do a major disservice to our most vulnerable communities and the whole of the New York City. We encourage the MTA to take a deeper, more serious, and more objective look at this plan, starting with the environmental impact study statement. We cannot let this opportunity slip through our grip to uplift the residents and create more equitable New York. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chief. I couldn't have said it better myself, and it's so fantastic to know that all of us have a very strong supporter and a very strong relationship with the Public Advocate's Office. You really fight for the people, and we appreciate that very much. Thank you for those words. Our next speaker is the Executive Director of the Permanent Citizens Advisory Committee, Lisa Dagny. They do great work on behalf of the citizens, making sure they hold people accountable, they make sure things are done right.
Thank you. I am Lisa Dagny, and I'm the Executive Director of the Permanent Citizens Advisory Committee to the MTA and the CAC, joined today by two of our chairs who are also MTA board members. Not voting at this point. If they were voting, I'm sure they would move to put this into the next capital plan. QueensLink means better access for all. It means better opportunity. It means better economic development. It means better transit. QueensLink means better, more equitable access to transit. That's something that Queens needs. I live in Queens. I know that we need more than one way in, more than one way out. The more north-south we have, the more options we have, the more opportunity we have. We have an unused resource. It's right in our backyard. This is existing infrastructure. We don't have to start from scratch. We don't have to find pennies in the couch cushions. What we have to do is put all of our political will and all of our resources together and get this done. So I'd like to thank Rick and QueensLink and NYPIRG and everybody who's really just, and everyone who's stuck together for years and really continues to make this such an important issue, not just for the individual communities, for the individual students, but for our borough, for our city as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Those are great words, and it's true. It's sitting right there. Why don't we build on it, right? Next speakers is actually going to be a few people. We have a few representatives from QueensLink themselves here. Rick Oron, the executive director, is going to be saying a few words. I mean, without QueensLink, they've been doing the work on the ground for years now, building support in the communities. None of us would be here right now, so give it up to the QueensLink people and Rick Oron.
Well, it's actually pretty surprising that we have to be here. You would think that reactivating a rail line in the middle of a transit desert would be a no-brainer. Unfortunately, it's not. We have to get involved in everything if we're going to even make the obvious happen. So we couldn't be happier that everyone has decided to take time out of their busy schedule to be here today to help support this project, and to especially to support the students at Queens College and NYPIRG that are going to be the real beneficiaries of better transit, including QueensLink. We read through the report. There's some fantastic information in there. It just lends credibility to the fact that, you know, we may not need better transit in the future. We needed it yesterday. Thank you very much for your support, and we look forward to continuing the fight with you.
Woo! Thank you, Rick. Next speaker, I'm actually good friends with. A little bit about this next speaker. I was the project lead on the Strap Hangers campaign at Queens College, and this speaker was one of the interns for the Strap Hangers campaign. And the passion, the commitment, and the expertise this student showed in fighting for this project every single day, going and trying to get petition signatures from students in support of this project, helping us with the event at the end of April, running around like a chicken without a head. Oh, we need a table there, we need more signs here. I mean, this student, it's just all gears, all gas, no brakes. I want to welcome Joshua Boyce, Queens College student.
Thank you so much, Matthew. So yeah, my name is Joshua Boyce. I was a NYPIRG intern at Strap Hangers. Now I'm a board member for NYPIRG. It's so amazing to be here because it's just like, from starting from NYPIRG, I didn't know what was going on. I was trying to find myself, trying to figure out what's going on with what I wanted to do in life. And understanding advocacy as a whole is very much important to our community. Not only for just QueensLink, but for everything else that we need to solve in our communities. I mean, dealing with QueensLink is such a perfect project that needs to be emphasized in transit-oriented development such as Queens. Queens is like a transit desert. We have buses. What about the trains? We still need the trains to get around, to get to the city, to get more faster to the city. QueensLink, something about QueensLink is it just makes me like think of something as transit as a passion. And transit is a passion for me because it's something that we need to really just get. I'm trying to get my words together because this is new to me speaking about y'all guys.
You're doing great.
But it's really just an important project to really get out there to the MTA, to everybody else, because if we want more communities to be connected, we need to start from here. It starts with us, not the people up above, not the higher ups, but with us. We as a community need to really emphasize, like, this is what we need for Queens. This is what we need. A park, a rails and trails. It's amazing. So I really thank Matthew, I really thank NYPIRG as well. I really thank the QueensLink team. I really thank everybody for giving me this passion to speak here and to speak to everybody that I probably don't know, but you probably know me now. That's Josh from NYPIRG. But yeah, I really thank you so much, and hopefully we can get this project going. We can continue going, even if it doesn't get at the 2030, 2034. We're still pushing. We're still gonna push it.
brightest of Queens College Urban Studies Department. Shout out Urban Studies Department. Our next speaker is from Open Plans. Open Plans is a fantastic organization. They fight to make sure that our city is affordable for all, whether it be bike infrastructure, housing infrastructure, transportation infrastructure. They're the ones that are fighting to make it happen. She's an advocacy and engagement associate. Please welcome Emily Chingay.
Hi everyone, thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Emily. I'm the community organizer at Open Plans. Good public transportation connects New Yorkers to jobs, schools, family, and essential services, and it opens up new opportunities for all of us. That's exactly what QueensLink has the potential to do. The insights in this report make it clear Queens residents need and deserve more transit options. This is one of the many transit deserts in our city, and it's time you start addressing that. Revitalizing this underused corridor isn't just about expanding connections, it's about investing in a healthier, safer, more accessible, and more connected Queens. Big kudos to the QueensLink team and to all the community members, partners, students, everyone who helped elevate the voices of our neighbors. This is a strong step towards making expanded transit a reality in Queens. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Our next speaker is a very well-known social media personality. He has a YouTube channel with over 14,000 subscribers. He does in-depth content on everything New York City transportation related, and he's been at the forefront of trying to improve our transportation system. And actually, this individual was one of the people from the start calling for the MTA to look into swapping the F and M trains from the 63rd Street Tunnel to the 53rd Street Tunnel, and now the MTA is going to apparently be doing that by the end of the year, thanks to his advocacy. So I want to welcome Joint Transit Association.
Hello, I'm Edward. You may know me as Joint Transit Association, and I am extremely honored and excited to be joining NYPIRG and supporting QueensLink because it is a good project and absolutely no way with Queensway. Queens is a transit desert, as you may have known. We only have the equivalent of like, what, 2.5 train lines, maybe 3 on a good day when the N&W aren't shutting down for whatever reason. And QueensLink would be that necessary 3rd or 4th line that would help serve the needs of Queens well. Like, for example, do you want to go north-south within Queens? That is what we call in the business of circumferential transit. The link will cut down travel times from up to 30 minutes on the Q52 or Q53 to just down 12 on the new Queens Link. This helps saving about 18 minutes or 20 minutes one way if you're going within Queens. How about if you want to go to Manhattan? Well, taking a much more direct route through central Queens will help those South Queens and Rockaway residents serve, say, 15 minutes one way at the very least. As Queens grows, we need actual transit solutions, not a Walmart Highline that will block trains on the route. We need not to entertain Queensway excuses on why we can't build Queensway, because they're laughably garbage. And we can do both, rails and trails. And for this report that NYPIRG expertly crafted, solidifying that what we have been saying is true, that we need better transit service, and QueensLink will be in the forefront of this transit revolution, I am proud to support this report's release. Let's get it done. Build the QueensLink and say with me, no way with Queensway.
Thank you, Edward. Those are fantastic words. Our final speaker today is the District Manager of Queens Community Board 14. Don't forget her, they're all the way down, and in fact, you might say, she might have taken an Uber here because there's no north-south transit. Please welcome Felicia Johnson.
So the interesting thing is, when I spoke with Matt yesterday, I said to him, I can't get my transportation committee out, but I will come because it's that important. And I will take it over. Why? Because there is no north-south connection within the borough of Queens. I represent Community Board 14, which represents the entire Rockaway Peninsula and Broad Channel. The only way in and out, other than the 52 or the 53, is that A train. part of the reason when this was deactivated, what happened was that began the deterioration of the Rockaway Peninsula. My students on the peninsula that want to come to college, a lot of them decide not to because they cannot get there. There is no way that this study should not be fully funded by elected officials. It should be included in everyone's capital plan. The Rockaways right now is experiencing a housing boom. I am expecting over 10,000 units of housing to come to the Rockaway Peninsula. How are you moving these people around? Do you expect everybody to move to these apartments, this housing, and stay on the peninsula? We don't have economic opportunity there. There is economic opportunity growth available if we get this project done. There is no way that anybody can say this is not good for us. I have two people, I actually was able to carpool here, so I was very excited to save that Uber money. But I will tell you that there are people like me that we don't have a choice. And they have to take 2 and 3 buses, an hour and a half to get where they're going and then to come back. And it's not fair. It's really not fair. I will tell you that I actually initially heard about QueensLink before I was district manager, when I was a community board member, and right after Superstorm Sandy. And for those of you who knew what Superstorm Sandy did to the peninsula, one of the things that we said, and I think Phil Bowfetter was the assembly person at the time, if we would have had another way off the peninsula, perhaps more lives would have been saved. And so at that point, I was like, I got to know more about this QueensLink. And so Rick Horan has been very vocal. He has been keeping us abreast on the community level about what's happening with this project. I have Eugene Fallick with us, also my non-board member but transportation committee member, was at your April 28th meeting. Community Board 14 supports this project in its entirety. I'm here today to say, in my capacity, that I'm looking for the elected officials in every district that this would affect to come together. Let's put those capital dollars together. I know we were partially funded for the beginning of the study. Let's get this thing fully funded and fully studied. Thank you so much.
Comments, Felicia, they were fantastic, and it goes to show, she mentioned the students, she hears from these students probably on a daily basis. They call into her office, the same students that were in our report saying that same thing. We have a second source on that, so it's great to hear these stories. That ends our public speakers list. For all media here, we're going to go into questions. If there are any questions, please ask. Yeah.
I know Mayor Adams is speaking on a lukewarm on this and he's getting money in the Queensway. On the other hand, Sarah Madani was at a QueensLink rally a couple years ago and has been a fan of it. I'm just wondering, do you think the idea of him becoming mayor would give any boost to the idea of the QueensLink happening?
Well, it's important to say that we're a nonpartisan organization, NYPIRG. We can't make a statement on that. But I will say that we sent this report to every single mayoral candidate running. We sent it out this morning. They all have these reports. The stories in these reports, they're all here. So they can all read it, they can all see it for themselves. And from there, it's up to them to read it, you know? But we hear, the voices are here, right? The voices are here, they're saying QueensLink. That's all these people, look at all these people. So they should listen to these voices, everyone. Any other questions? Yes?
The concerns flagged by the MTA have to do with cost in terms of using it as railroad or as subway. Given that, why is it worthwhile?
Well, it's worthwhile because it impacts people's day-to-day lives. This borough is getting all this economic activity. You're massively expanding Queens. Like I said, with the new airports, with proposed new casinos, you're expanding the Van Wyck, the 10,000 units of housing in the Rockaways. The investment is well worth all the other investments we're making. And sometimes we tend to treat transportation like a side product. Like, oh, they'll figure it out, or we treat it too late. When it's too late to make a change and people are already stuck in traffic, as they are now, you know? So it's long overdue for this, and when it comes to cost, you know, why we're calling for an environmental impact statement is because those cost numbers need a re-examination. They need a re-examination, and examining the QueensLink project from a full EIS perspective, we'll be able to get a total grip when we go into meetings and when we ask Albany or when we ask the federal government for money. We're going to be able to have a concrete number. Right now, we don't have a concrete number. That's why we need an EIS.
And if the Queensway Park proposal is, if that's fully sited by the city, would that preclude the eventual use of any of the space for transit?
I can't speak on their current plans. From what I'm aware, right now they're designing the park without a transit option. They're designing the park just to include linear paths and bikes. But, I mean, just using common sense, if you build a nice, new, beautiful park, and then 5 years later you say, all right, we're going to rip up half of it to build a train line, what kind of sense does that make? That's never going to happen. They have to include both from the beginning in the planning process.
Just to add to what Matthew said, if you look at the Public Advocates website, there is a report of congestion pricing where we highlighted QueensLink. Some of the recommendations that we put forward in how they can gain more capital or produce more capital and divert some of that capital to this project, at the very least, start with the EIS. That is doable. It's just the willpower and the leadership in MTA that we're fighting.
Any other questions? All right, well, with that, I think one more little chant here, and we're going to wrap it up. What do we want?
QueensLink.
When do we want it?
Now.
Rails and
Trails.
Rails and
Trails.
Thank you guys so much for coming out. Get home safe.